So welcome everyone to the June 2024 LDC Committee, Local Development Council meeting, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Barbara Street Holter. Miss Barbara Holt Streeter. One of these days, I'm going to get her name right. Didn't I say last time I was just going to call her Barbara? So we're going to turn it over to Barbara.
What a way to open the meeting. I love it. I love it because I just never know who I may be at any given time.
I know, but you're always still the same lovely person.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lattimore. I greatly appreciate you and this entire team. As I always say, it means a lot to the Office of the County Executive, but particularly County Executive also works, that you take your time, your experience, your connection with the community, and you really are investing in what we do here with the Local Development Council. You are the council, and you are really making an impact. And I just have to say a special thank you to the grant committee. We'll talk more about
that. Come on, y'all. Give yourself a hand. Evelyn, Tequila, Lori, Needs Committee.
Yes, yes. Without you, this would not be taking place. So thank you so very much. And I know I think we did a formal introduction, and I know Dr. Lattimore will do the same. But again, to have a superstar businesswoman on this Local Development Council in the name of Miss Danny Moore King, it is definitely a pleasure to have you join us and all the work that you are doing as well. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Barbara.
Look forward to working with all of you all.
Okay. Back to you, all right, thank you. So with that said, we'll move on to approving the May minutes. They were sent out. Has everyone had an opportunity to review them? Because if you have, I would like to move that we accept the May minutes as stated, unless there are any amendments.
I second.
Okay, the motion has been seconded. Is there any debate? Seeing none, we will move by unanimous consent that the May 2024 minutes be accepted and adopted as stated. So the next thing on the agenda is the elected officials report. So we have Delegate Turner, then we have Senator Muse's representative. And do we have a representative for Delegate Woods here? Okay, so we're going to turn it over to Delegate Turner.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Happy to all those days yesterday. Happy Father's Day. I had a Father's Day picnic and they wore my young self out, because I tell y'all all I'm 29, but honey, I didn't feel that 29 that day. Saturday, I was so tired. I said, boy, if this day don't hurry and get over, I ain't gonna make it. Anyway, okay, I don't have but so many minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, 2 minutes. I know. I just want to bring just a couple some information to you. As you know, we're out of session. Okay, and I'm in economic matters, and nothing's been going on too much in economic matters. Only thing that I can tell you that they're scheduling a meeting with the Senate Finance Committee, and it's going to be on July the 29th. Now, just to let you know, unfortunately, I am unable to attend that meeting, and I've been going for 18 years to every one of those meetings. I just want y'all to know. But I am going to have a surgery on that day with my implants that I have. I have 2 implants that is not in the bone, and they got to go and do a grafting to try to put, and it's a 3-hour surgery. And it is going to be on the 29th. But I just want to let you know that I got, some people that is going to be in on that meeting. and I will bring you a full report about what happened with our meeting on July the 29th. Okay, so I just want to let you know where I'm, what I have to do on that day. It just so happened they send you these notices, but see, they never say what else that you're doing. I had already, it took me a whole month and a half to get this surgery date through Clear Choice. And so I just could not say that I wasn't going to cancel that meeting. It'll be another 2 months before I'll be able to have it. So just to let you know of some of the things that I've been doing, I am still, just letting you know, I am still accepting scholarship applications. I moved back my date because the people were just coming in very slow. Applications were coming in very slow. So I'm giving them all an opportunity to, after they graduate, understand that the senator and I and Delegate Woods are still going to have our scholarship application. And the reception for that day is going to be on July 17th. This is the date that we picked that we're going to have it at the Elks Club for all the people that we are going to give scholarships to. Now, my scholarships are still coming in. I have over 50 right now, and I think I was doing pretty good getting 50. I had to keep, we know we have 4 high schools. Crossland, Friendly, Potomac, Crossland. Wait a minute, I got one. Oxon Hill. Okay, and so I had to keep sending out notices to the counselors that my applications are still open, and some of the churches as well, for them to let them know that Delegate Turner is still giving out scholarship applications. Just giving y'all some updates on some dates that's coming up. Just letting you know, I don't know if y'all heard or not that Steny Hoyer, he's having his bull roast, and it's in June 28th. He has one every year, since since the virus is over and all that good stuff. So now we have it. I got the notice here, and I'll send it to you, Delegate Latimer. I mean, not Delegate Latimer. I'm making you a delegate. I'm making you. You can have my seat, baby. Yeah, anytime I let you have it. Lattimore, I just want to let you know that Steny Hoyer is still cooking. He's still out there giving these bull roasts, and he gives it every year. Just letting the LDC know that we are still.
Where is it held at?
Huh?
Where is it held?
It's at what's the place over there? Central Avenue. What is that?
Is that Newton White Mansion?
White Mansion.
Oh, the Newton White Mansion.
Newton White Mansion. And he has it. Oh, and I believe it, y'all should go. It's the bomb. Plenty food, music, everything that goes on. And it's going to be June 20. On June 28th from 6 to 8. And I want you to know. Okay, and another thing I wanted y'all just to know this, what's going on. Also on July the 20th, Central Baptist Church of Camp Springs is having a community day. So anybody that goes to Central or who would like to come, they have a good community day. I love going every year. They got a big parking lot to have all of that events for the children and the adults and everything. And that's going to be on July the 20th. And one more, I want to just say, Dr. Larimer, that I had a wonderful time at the dinner with Ed Burrows. I'm sorry that you could. I know what you had to do.
Yeah,
You were
I
so
had to
busy.
get those applications
I
done.
know you had to do all that work and get that done. And I just want you to know I sat next to Everett, and we had a good time of sitting there laughing and giggling at the with Ed Burrows. Of course, you know he was a little late, but nevertheless, he's, you know, that's okay. Delicate Turner was there, and I want you to know I got to give it to you. I did what you asked me to do. I took down all the names of all the people that came, and most of us showed up. I want you to know you had a good LDC that did show up to the meeting.
Well, I
Okay, at
appreciate
the
that.
dinner.
Thank you.
So it was nice. I'm sorry that you wasn't there, but we represent you very well. So you didn't have anything. We kept saying she is busy doing the work of the people.
Yeah, I
And
owe
so-
him a huge apology, but a couple of the people that were supposed to do the applications, they didn't come through, so we had to get them done. And then when I saw Kanika's note this morning, she was camping. I'm like, what? I'm sitting up here slaving over the weekend and you're camping?
And camp. Well, you know, what can I say? What can I say?
But that was
Oh,
fine. I'm glad y'all had a good time.
yeah, and then the last thing that I wanted to bring up, I hope you know, I checked on this with Senator Patterson and Reverend Robinson, that we really don't meet on the month of July and August, and we come back in September. Did you hear that? Did you get that notice?
No, I did not. I was going to ask Barbara because last year I know that Pastor Robinson and myself, was you here, Ebony, last year? We were sitting there, nobody showed up, so we didn't get the memo.
Okay.
So this year, just to be honest, I just said I'm just not going to have it because the last 2 years it wasn't anyone, and I looked in the SOP and I didn't see it, and I didn't want to do anything out of order. So that is great news.
That's
Letitia,
right.
did you hear that?
There's your vacation in the month of July and the month of August.
And
And we
that
come
just
back.
flows with most of the sororities and
Yes,
stuff, you know, that we end at a certain time. Like last Saturday was our last time until, you know, September. So I am very grateful about that. You know, especially for Letitia, because God knows I would be lost without her. So thank you for that news.
okay, you know, just letting you know that at least she has some time off to herself. And that's good. Go on a good vacation. You can go for Delicate Turner. I'm not going because I'm scared to go on that beltway. But I'm serious, you know, and I keep telling everybody I've got to go see a psychiatrist because definitely I am fear of that beltway. Those folks are crazy. They drive like maniacs. So,
All right. So do you have anything else? Because we got to move and get
oh,
moving
I'm
on
sorry,
these
moving right
applications.
along. I want y'all to know I will bring y'all the update after my meeting in July. And I hope everybody have a good vacation. I love you and I will miss all of you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Did you hear that, Barbara? Miss Curry, did you hear that? We're out for July and August.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes. Thank you for that
yes. You don't need
wonderful
a break.
news.
Thank you.
We are so very happy. Thank you.
Yes. So the next thing moving on the agenda is Senator Muse Representative Tequila, who helped with the applications. I'm telling you, they were good for first timers.
Thank you, because I definitely was a little nervous about that because I hadn't done it before, and I was like, hopefully, you know, they were okay.
No, you're on it next year again. Y'all just know.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I'm ready. Well, I don't have that much to share today, because actually Senator Muse is supposed to be joining. So I wanted to leave time for him to actually be able to talk to everyone. So I don't want to take up any time, but you know, just same thing with Delegate Turner just discussed, you know, that Senator Muse is out in the community doing different events. Our scholarship deadline has passed, so we're working on finalizing that right now. And we are still working on that open house for the district office, but we're still working on it, so I don't have a date yet. But other than that, I don't want to take up any more time. I want to maybe if he comes on in the next 5 to 10 minutes, leave those 2 minutes for him.
Well, he better hurry up because we just got some good news. We might be off before he come on.
All right.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
So Delegate Woods, I see you.
How are you? How's everybody this evening?
We are fine.
That is great. I apologize for some crazy reason I was having difficulty getting on this evening.
Okay, well,
Make
we
sure
can
that
hear
that
you
was
loud
done.
and clear. You're up.
So I really don't have much to report. I do want to remind you all that the 26th District Dialogue will be held on July the 27th at the Surratt Clinton Library. We're going to actually be combining with District 25 and District 26. And this session, it's from 2 to 4 p.m. And we're going to be talking all things law enforcement. So we're going to have different law enforcement agencies present to ask to respond to a number of questions and give a number of updates about what's going on in our local community. So we would certainly love to have you all to be present for that. I'm thankful, I'm not sure how many here on this line made it, but thankful to all of you who came out. We had Danny, I saw you, I see you. We had a phenomenal celebration for the law that was signed by the governor in the name of my son this past Saturday down by in National Harbor. And we had a phenomenal turnout. We had the Prince George's Police, we had the Sheriff's Department, we had the Park Police, we had Forest Heights Police, and then we had people that came out that just blew my mind. I saw people I hadn't seen for years. And I want y'all to know that I did 5.5 miles of that 6.2 miles. I did 5.5 miles of that 10K walk. Look, I'm still paying for it. I'm still paying for it now.
But it was worth it.
But it was well worth it. You know, I know my son is smiling from heaven.
Absolutely.
We had so many elected officials showed up. It was just a wonderful event. And I'm thankful to all of you. You know, our goal is to make sure that we are making ourselves available to members of the community, that we are responding. It was really, you know, disappointing as we talked about this bill. County Executive also Brooks talked about it. It was a shame that we even had to have a bill like this put in place, right?
Mhm.
But here's the thing, it's in place now. And I want to tell you all that the work that we're doing in Maryland is making a difference. I was able to present Gabriel's Law and in Seattle, Washington last week, and a number of states have articulated a desire to have legislation put in place.
That's good.
Yes, that mirrors Gabriel's Law. So I want you to know that what we're doing in the state, we are trying to make sure that we have been, you all know that we've been a role model in a lot of areas, in a lot of states. Maryland has literally set the precedent and been the leader. And so I hope that we can still do that. I want to encourage you all in the local development council, please come to us with your needs, with your concerns. We are extremely, extremely excited to have an opportunity to present legislation. And a lot of time that comes from just ordinary people, right? I mean, we're ordinary people too, but legislation that you all bring to us that says, you know, we can make a difference. And as this particular bill, unfortunately, at the expense of my son, but guess what? If it makes a difference in the lives of other people, if it saves other lives, then it's, you know, it was worth the pain. It was worth the effort. So thank you for all of your support. Thank you for those who prayed, who showed up this past weekend. It, like I said, the turnout, I was seeing some pictures and I was like, oh my God, they were there. They were there. I didn't even realize some of the people that were there. So it was a phenomenal turnout, phenomenal response. MGM was one of the hosts. Market Fresh Gourmet was one of the hosts, and the Maryland National Park and Planning Police were another host, and it was just a phenomenal event. I'm still running around in the community trying to do things. As I said, I was in Seattle, Washington last week with women in government presenting other bills and getting information for bills that I will be bringing to the state of Maryland that I will be putting in this upcoming legislative session. So thank you for this opportunity.
No, thank you. I mean, your son is definitely doing God's work, and I'm glad that that bill was passed and put into place. Yeah, that's just amazing. So congratulations. And yeah, you'll have me crying in a minute. Okay, so we're going to turn it over to Barbara.
Congratulations and many blessings to you, Delegate Woods. I thank you for your passion, your love, your leadership, and just most importantly, your commitment to community and commitment to your family. So thank you so much. In terms of some additional information from the Office of the County Executive, some of you all may have received some information if you're connected with some of the what we call the alerts. But as you know, this week is going to be a high humidity with the humidity is going to be very high, I'm sorry, from today through June 23rd. And so County Executive announced today that cooling stations are open. We have about 16 cooling centers that are open, and about 3 or 4 of them are actually in the southern part of the area, such as the Southern Regional Tech Recreation Center. I think we call that, I should know the acronym. I just forgot. Suitland Cooling Center, namely 2 as well. So please, again, make sure you stay hydrated, check on your neighbors, your seasoned seniors, and any pets that you have. That's going to be very important. Number 2, with that, if there are any questions or concerns, please continue to follow us on social media, get your alerts, contact 311 if you have questions as well. And if there's an emergency, of course, 911. Number 2, recently last week, we announced our new municipality liaison, which is Dorite Burton. You will be able to see and meet her as well. She'll be meeting as many of the municipalities during the summer months. And then with that, we have many municipalities, about 4 or 5 that we know of, that will be hosting Juneteenth events this Wednesday. District Heights is one that is actually going to have a walk and a festival. So please stay connected. As we say, it is a holiday. Many of us are off, but it will be so important that you're able to really find out more of the knowledge and history of Juneteenth. And then last but not least, I see Miss Alana Watson has joined us. She is my newest administrative assistant, new member to the team of strategic partnerships. So I wanted to make sure she had an opportunity to get to see this amazing council and learn a little bit more, as Letitia has been walking alongside of her, getting her situated and moved in with the Department of Strategic Partnerships. So thank you all so very much. And if you have any questions or concerns, we are only a phone call or email away. On behalf of County Executive, again, thank you so very much for your time and service.
Thank you, Barbara. Welcome, Alana. So we're going to have
Thank you.
her and Letitia.
Well, no, Letitia
I
is
was just playing. I know you're not.
Letitia's all y'all for LDC.
You see, I stayed quiet.
No, I was
It's
just
very
playing
nice
with you.
to meet
I
and see
know.
all of
All right.
you.
Well, welcome. We appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you for having
Even though it's before the break, but you can come back in September.
Okay.
So the next report was Councilman Burrell's office, and I don't see anyone on the line from them. So we're gonna move along. The Needs Assessment Committee, Ebony.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I'm Ebony, and I just want to give just a little tidbit from the Needs Assessment Committee. I actually, in our time away, reached out to a couple of the other of OLDC members and a couple of LDCs in Maryland to see like what are some things that really help get the community involved, help find out really what the needs are from community members from their outlook. And so I got a lot of information, especially from Anne Arundel, about really how their kind of community needs assessment went in Anne Arundel and how they really were able to connect with the community. One of the big highlights, well, I got 3 kind of big highlights from them and also from the LDC out in Baltimore. They had community input nights where they hosted in either a church or the library, just had like folks from the community, they advertised it, folks from the community came out, whether it was residents or business owners, and just talked about gaps in services that they noticed, what services they felt like we have too many of in our community, and also what services are in place that really just need to be strengthened to impact more people. So I thought that was a great idea. And we have many churches, we have library, we have all of that. So that's something pretty easy, I feel like, to put together to host. They also talked about virtual community input meetings. And they said they actually had better turnouts at the in-person events than the virtual ones.
Oh,
but
wow.
that was shocking. But they were saying how at the virtual events, though, they got not as many residents, but more business owners, professionals that work in the community, saying like what were some of the issues they were facing. They had a lot of folks from actually the police department that got involved and really talked about where they saw gaps in services or things that they felt, they should kind of focus on with, grant applications coming in. Who are the services that really would make a difference for us at this time? And then the last thing they talked about was tabling at community events, which I was like, duh, that makes sense. They're like, in the summer or in the early fall, there are a lot of outdoor events that are happening in the communities. Just put up a table, have some surveys on hand, and talk to the community. Let them know what the LDC does. There are a lot of people who just, they're not on social media. They're not, necessarily technology savvy, may not, really read their emails. And so they don't really know what the LDC is doing. And so they're like, if you go to these community events, just put a table up, talk to people, have information, and maybe have a survey and find out just what things would they like to see in their community. Where do they see room for improvement, or what's going well, what's not. And so just so that we have a firm foundation within the community and that we're not leaving any stone unturned, that people know who we are and know what we do. So I am hoping, because now we're about to go on break, that the needs assessment committee can come together and we can just talk about just what we can do, maybe early fall or right when we
Yeah,
come
I was
back
going to
from break.
suggest that we do that we start working on that, because that's a great idea,
Yeah.
to bring the community together and everything. I mean, I know September is schools is starting back up and stuff, but I think that, we need to do something like that. As long as I've been on the LDC, we've never done anything like that. So I will be more than helpful. I mean, I would jump up and help you. So, does anybody else have any input? Do you think that's a great idea? Okay, and so we could probably do it within the 6 mile radius. I know that the library, the Oxon Hill Library, a lot of people use that space. The space down there with Walter, the Harbor, their rooms are not big at all. And then they would have to hire somebody at night. But you and I, we could discuss offline, but I'm really excited about doing that. And just kind of getting out there, because they're right. They gave you some great information. A lot of people don't know what the local development council does, and they're right. There are too many grants that are replicated. Some of them need to combine and join forces.
Yep.
And that's one of the outcomes of these applications. So yeah. If you want to shoot me an email, you and I, and your needs assessment committee, we can meet. And sometime before the end of this month, so that y'all can have your vacation.
Right.
And then we'll put something like that in place.
Absolutely. Because I thought, I was like, I know people are doing this work, so what has worked for them? So that's why I reached out to them. But they gave a lot of good information. They were like, they're on board to help in any way they can as well. So I was like,
and we got 2 delegates and a senator.
Right. I'm like, we're doing
and a
good.
District 8 council member. So I know we can get it going.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Thank you, Ebony. That was very good. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, so we move to the Grant Oversight Committee. Kanika is not here today. She said she had something else to attend to. So with that stated, if there's no further comments or questions, and Barbara and Letitia guide me through this, we're going to adjourn formally this meeting and move into executive session. Is that correct? 'Cause
We
I
can do
think
that. I just wanted to bring up two things before we adjourn. One, the Grant Oversight Committee is not Kanika. That would be you and Ms. Evelyn if
Oh,
you guys wanted to
that's
talk.
Evelyn, yes.
If you guys wanted to talk and discuss what you did in terms of the grant before we go into an executive session. And then the second thing is, you may can send an email, but I don't know if you guys want to include an open forum. How are you going to handle the July reports if you're going to be out July and August? Those end of the year reports from the fiscal 2023 would need to be reviewed.
Okay, with that, I would have to talk to Kanika because we never received them. I think they only went to Pastor Robinson, so you could just send them directly to me and I will definitely get them reviewed.
Okay.
How many is it?
There's about 25 or 26 of them.
Oh, I could do that.
Um,
Yeah, Evelyn, we could do that.
But you do have access on the current folder that shared folder is you would just go into that fiscal year and they're put in there directly.
And what's the folder name?
I can definitely meet with you offline.
Okay, just email it to me.
Screenshots, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Dr. Lattimore? Excuse me.
Yes.
I just want to say a couple of words to everybody who helped us, especially Miss King, Miss Moore King, and Miss Taylor, who stepped in at the last minute because a lot of the people who were on the committee did not show up to help rate, and that's why you and I had the burden of doing all the work. And so I really want to say a special thanks to them because Miss Taylor, Miss Porter, no, Miss Paylor, and Miss Moore King all helped us get it done. And the other
And
thing is I
tequila.
want to say, yes, and special thanks to Miss Vincent, Letitia. I'm not an automated person, and had it not been for her, we would have probably never gotten into the system at all. So thank you so much. And finally, I want to say that Dr. Lattimore did most of the work. She she's done it before, so she was able to walk us through it and help us with it and took the burden on to shoulder most of it. Finally, what I want to say is hopefully our committee will be stable next year and we can have some kind of written SOP that we can hand out to everybody. It's on a step-by-step basis on how do you go into the system for people who are not computer literate, because I know Miss Vincent was really sick of me by the time the process was over with. So if we could get some type of, and I'll take the task on of putting a SOP together so we can pass it out and what button to push and where to find this and where to find that.
Write that down, Letitia. She gonna do the SOP.
I will do that. Okay. But anyway, I want to say thank you to you all because we could not have gotten to where we are had we not worked together and everybody jumped in and lent a hand when others did not. So thank you.
You're quite welcome. Letitia, did you have something else?
I was just gonna say we are working on the back end about how we can make that a more efficient process. We're looking at a SharePoint site so that we don't lose folders and documents and we don't have issues with access and so forth. So we are working on that, and so we'll be working on that in that July and August break, so that when we come back for the fiscal 24, we'll have a new process, and we will definitely have some guidelines to attach to that.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, one of the
Thank you.
things that I'm gonna talk to Evelyn about is once we finish discussing these applications, just getting them to Kanika, that we're gonna take these applications and assign them to different individuals on the oversight committee so that we can oversee some of these grants to make sure that they're spending the money, that they're doing what they say they're going to do, attend some of their programs, like it's one called Fame. They always have a program at the place on Oxon Hill Road. I forget the name of that place, but it's really big, a really big parking space. And they put on shows there. So that's something else that once the grants go out, I'm gonna ask Kanika, well, I have the list, and then we're just going to divide them up among us, and we're going to start calling these grants recipients that receive the money to make sure that they're complying, and try to show up, visit them, do virtual meet and greets with them to let us know. So I think between that and Ebonique's idea, I think that we'll have a really good LDC going forward and get a better grasp and hand on the applications. So yeah, so thank you for that. And your strategic partnership has no objections to us doing an SOP, a draft for the LDC application process, grant committee process? I was asking a question.
So the LDC has the right to draft up their own operating procedures and workflows. But like I said, we're also working on the back end on making at least the way you go in to review the applications and rate the applications, that will be improved. But in terms of how you guys do it, how many times you meet, what the guidelines are in terms of what participation looks like, how does that hold your membership, all of that could fall under your jurisdiction. So yes, you have the right to do that.
Okay, yeah, I think no question is stupid. I used to always tell my students this when I taught at Maryland. Just, if I don't know, I'm gonna ask the question. All right, so I'm clear now. Thank you so much. So let me ask another question. Do you think that it's better that we talk about these applications while it's being recorded, or is it better to go to executive session? I just want to hear your input from the pros. Barbara, I see you smiling. You know the answer.
No, I didn't want to interrupt Letitia. Go right ahead, Letitia.
So we actually met earlier, and typically speaking, you as a whole can go ahead and vote as a public session on the grant applications. But if you wanted to go into detail why and why not and things like that, you may want to do it within your executive session. So it just depends on the information you want to disclose.
So what I wanted to do is share my screen and just kind of, give you guys some 2 or 3 tidbits about the application, some comments, and then, we can vote. I'm not going to, I know you saw my spreadsheet today. I love to write, but I wanted to support the amount of money that we were given to them. So I don't think we need to go into executive session because I can run through them. I want to give you guys some feedback, especially strategic partnership, so that y'all can kind of take that back to whomever and let them know what's out there. But I think with Ebonique's idea and with us, having oversight of the recipients, it's going to make it better next year. So with that said,
Dr. Lattimore, I do have one question.
Yes.
We'll be sharing your screen. Are you also sharing the scores, or are you keeping the scores and how you're rating that? Because that's typically done more internally. So I don't know whether or not it's appropriate to share the scores.
This is the LDC committee. The scores are on the sheet. I don't have any problem sharing the scores. But I mean, I see what you're saying. So
this will be on the website.
Like the whole spreadsheet?
No, whatever you show, whatever you say going forward, because we're recording, it will be public knowledge.
Okay, so then after Senator Muse, we're going to give him some time. We'll just go into executive session.
Okay.
How about that?
That works.
Okay.
So Welcome, Senator Muse. We were waiting for you. You almost missed us. We were on our way out. You're on mute.
Let me say good evening, and I'm very sorry I'm late. I was trying my best to get on here earlier, but I was on another Zoom, and that went on longer. So I apologize, and I'll make sure that I take the responsibility of getting the notes and anything that I missed up until now. Let me say I'm thankful and thank you for giving us this time to be here. We've not been able. I have always kept up with what's going on through our surrogates who sit there, and I think we have 3 new appointees that I was able to get through as well. But I also want you to know, and all of the members to know, that I'm available as well for anything that you all need. And when you know that I need to be on a call for something, please just call me and say that. When there's something you need legislatively or otherwise, please let me know what I can do so that I can go to work. The first a year or so has been really hectic in Annapolis period. And then I had some time when I was sick and I was down for about for many months. So I'm here, and I'm here for whatever I can do to promote what you all have as your program.
All right, well, we're thankful that you were able to join us today, but I want to give a huge thank you to Tequila, who jumped in and helped us with the applications. You just, Evelyn spearheaded this, and, Tequila just jumped in. She did the application. She did a wonderful job. Everybody did. So we appreciate you sharing her with us. And we're going to get her back again next year.
Absolutely. We're not letting her go anywhere, so she'll be right back with you on next year. And I'm thankful for all of my staff. They do a tremendous job. They do care, and you will not have a tough time in reaching us and getting from us what you need.
Okay, sir. Well, thank you.
Thank you so very much, and you all have a good night. Anything I can do, let me know.
All right, sir. Have a good one. We're not here July and August, sir.
Okay. Well, September, let me know so I can be right there. And I will be, in fact, I'll be 20 minutes earlier.
All right. We look forward to that. We're going to hold you to that.
All right. Everybody
All
have
right. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair, one minute. I know when I was up on the internet and everything. So I got the copy of our Constitution bylaws. I want to thank you for sending that to all of us. The Constitution, the bylaws. And so, how many members? I was looking at it. We're supposed to have 15 members. Do we have 15 now, or are we short?
We currently have 12 out of the 15. We have 3 vacancies.
We still got 3 vacancies. I thought when we got Danny that took us up there. No.
She filled the business vacancy that we had.
Okay. So we have 3. And so how do we go about that, Madam Chair? Do we send the people to you, or how do we
I think strategic partnership, if I'm not mistaken, works with President Brewer on that. Can you tell me how that works? Because I just receive the people and the names. I don't have any part in the process. So can you guys from Strategic Partnership speak on that?
Ms. Marion Brewer is over appointments for boards and commissions. However, to recommend someone, or if you know someone who's interested in being a part of the council, you would have them email their resume and their cover letters to the email address that we provided some time ago, but it is on the website as well. So if they go to our LDC, our Local Development Council website, they'll see right underneath the breakdown of the council, the email that you can send your resume to.
Okay, but it's not like we don't have any role in when she sends people. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, Delegate Turner, no, we don't have a role in, I guess it's just when she, is able, someone, volunteers to do it, and I guess she just sends them that way. But I'm not familiar with that process.
Yeah, she will do the interviewing process and determine if they meet the criteria for being on the board. And then she will let us know who was appointed. We find out just like you find out through that email communication.
Okay.
Okay,
And just to
thank you.
add to that, if someone decides for whatever reason that they need to step off of the board, then again, that she does the best she can to replace that person. Or also when it's term limited, when your term has ended, then again, things move a little faster from that perspective as well.
Okay. Thank you
All right.
both for that. Did that
Thank
answer
you.
your question, Delegate Turner?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. So since we don't have a meeting for July and August, I would like to put for the agenda for September the idea that Ebonique had, and that and I'll send you a breakdown of the grantees and who on the oversight committee that Evelyn is going to appoint them to. So I think that we would like to talk about that, and to try to spearhead and help Ebonique, set up an LDC community, whatever you want to call it. Does anybody else have any other items for the agenda for September? Anything?
Would you like to give a report on the final reports for fiscal year 23? Because at that point,
You know what? Yes. Okay. Yes, I can do that for you, Letitia. Just send me an email every month. Okay, with that said, are there any more comments or questions before we go into executive session? Hearing-
Dr. Lattimore, this is Sheila Curry. I just have a quick question about going into executive session. Before you do that, then this might be a strange question, but do you guys need to vote while you have?
That's why I
Oh.
asked, because we're
Yeah.
supposed to vote. So how
Right.
about I not share my screen and I just talk from the paperwork and I won't share any scores. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, because I think you have to vote
Yes,
tonight
Yes.
on these grants,
correct.
the applicant, so that we can get the payments out to everybody. Finance
Yes,
has
ma'am.
until the end of the month.
Yes, ma'am.
If you go into executive session, I don't want the rest of your team to leave and you won't be able to vote tonight.
No, I can do it from here because I have two screens, if that's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
so-
Miss Sheila. I couldn't unmute fast enough, so this has been a great teamwork for us today. So
It has. We're working it out, you guys. So we had 40 applications that were sent to us, and they were parsed out. Evelyn is the lead for the grant oversight committee, and so we had them parsed out to assign to, as we said, Lori, Tequila, myself, Danny, Evelyn took some. Did I miss anybody? Okay, so it was 5 of us. And so we have a rating sheet that Kanika uses every year, and we used her rating sheet. And it asks us several questions about the grant, and then it comes up with a score. So let me make this bigger. I'm getting older. So what we did is they rated applications. Everyone rated the applications. We placed them all in a folder. And I went through and reviewed the applications and made sure that the scores supported the rating that it was given. I did find some issues with some of the applications, and only because I've done them before. And the current oversight committee, this was their first time, but they did a great job. So out of 40 applications with $400,000, I'm gonna tell you, it was really, really hard to try to spread that money and give everyone funding. So I did write down some notes. The applicants, what some of the things that I found is some of the applicants copied from last year. So some of the repeat applicants, what they did is they just went and copied and pasted their narrative statement that they had to provide from last year. So I pulled up 2023's and just matched it, and they didn't really put a lot of time and effort into that. A lot of the applications were poorly written. Kanika gives a great overview and training session. So I really don't think a lot of them were even listening or paying attention because key information they left off. The applicants didn't put in, like I said, the time and effort. They really need to hire a grant proposal writer or something like that. Many of the applications couldn't even explain their program. Many included other districts. So for example, one application wanted to do, let's just say mentoring, but the application is supposed to be for within the 6 mile radius. But later on, if you read the application, the grant talked about Fairmont Heights. It talked about other cities and municipalities within the DMV, but it wasn't within the 6 mile radius. Although the 6 mile radius was mentioned in there, like she was talking about here, she was talking about schools, but then they talked about Oxon Hill, Potomac, Crossland, but then they jumped in and they had Fairmont Heights. So all the money is supposed to be spent within the 6 mile radius, correct? So that is one of the issues that I found with a lot of these applications is that they talk about the 6 mile area, but if you read through them, they're spending the money somewhere else. So that was one of the biggest questions that I had. One application again wanted funds for salaries to help a certain immigrant group. How to open up a bank account, how to get housing, social services. And I just didn't see how the LDC committee could provide those type of funds when we have DHS, we have DHR. You know, you can show a friend how to open up a bank account. It just to me just didn't meet the mark. I think it was an application because I looked and they didn't even have a program. It was basically to fund a program to show new immigrants to come within Prince George's County to how to find their way. And we have public agencies that do that already for free. Next year, I recommended that we get between 10 and 15 applicants if we really want these programs to make an impact in the 6 mile radius. We weren't able to recommend no more than $5,000 or $10,000 to most of the applicants that had programs. That amount is really not going to help their program. So we're really impacting our own area because we don't have but $400,000 to give. And some of these programs really depend on this grant funding to get these programs off the ground. So I think we're doing them a disservice because the budget was cut from last year. And I think that a lot of them are going to probably complain to the county executive that they're not getting as much money as they were and they want to know why. And that's not my area. So I stay in my lane. And just, you know, I'm telling Barbara and Sheila and Letitia and Alana that you may get those type of calls because truly when they see that they're getting 5,000 versus 50,000, they're going to want to know where's the money going, why, what is it being used for, things like that. So I just don't want anyone to be blindsided. So next year I recommended that we get between 10 and 15 applications if we really want these programs to make an impact within the 6 mile radius. Other than that, it's probably just seed money for them to start a program or something like that. The timeline for the grant process, I think that needs to be changed. I'm going to work with Kanika on that because when we do this, we said this last year that we were going to work on the timelines. Well, we're here now. I think that the grant oversight committee should have at a minimum these applications for 3 entire weeks. Because every year we're rushed because of the timeline. So we may have to back up instead of the training being done in February. One recommendation would be to have it done in January. Anything to get us more time on the back end so that we can rate the applications and have enough time so that we're not rushing through them and we're not under a crunch. I asked Letitia to request that John develop a letter about repurposing these grant funds. Every year we have at least 2 or 3 grant recipients from last year. Either they want to use the funds for a different purpose, which they can't, or they haven't had a chance to use the money. Well, that funding could have gone into the 400,000 that we had this year. So I asked Letitia to ask John, and I think he came back, Letitia, last week, and I told him yes. Just to put on the front end of the grants when they are awarded, that up front, if this money is not used, it has to be returned. We're no longer doing repurposing of funds. You write the grants, you say that you need this money, we give it to you, but then you're giving the money back because of you couldn't use it or what you wanted to use it for. Probably, you rethought that and now you want to use it for something else and you just can't do that. COVID's no longer an excuse. I think that's going to be here. So we can't say that we can't use the money due to COVID or something like that. And last but not least, I talked about assigning each grant oversight committee member applicants that received the grant funding so that we could oversee them, throughout the whole year. So with that said, those were some of the observations. I think the pressure of the time really got to us because, the timelines were so tight, but hopefully next year we can do a lot better. So going into the grants, and I'm not going to go through them all, but we had Arch Group was one. They wanted to open up a radio station, but they currently have a summer program that's funded. However, the grantee requested that funding be given for 40 students. But he wants to do it in District 7. So they weren't awarded any money because it has to be within the 6 mile radius. So they weren't given any money. The impact area is not 7. It's Fort Washington and things like that. And he spoke about Forestville. So we can't do that. Another one, Causation. They did a great job. A lot of STEM programs. A 32-week after school program. Helps kids to kind of stay out of trouble, give them something to do. They work with the school administrators and they measure their program by quizzes and things like that. So they were awarded $5,000. Like I said, a lot of these programs were mentoring and programs to help the youth. A lot of them we didn't have a choice but to give them about $5,000. Catholic Charities, the Archdiocese of Washington, Again, they focused on health care, the lack of proper health care. They serve more than 900 low-income county residents in Temple Hills, Maryland. So they are having a program where the Mona Center Dental Clinic provides preventative, diagnostic, emergency, and dental services to low-income and uninsured children and adults. And I thought that's the first time I've ever seen that. And if you've had any dental work done, it is expensive. So I thought that was a really good program from the committee's viewpoint. So we gave them 10,000. Capital Area Food Bank, y'all know every year they really come through and feed a lot of schools and a lot of people. They always have their statistics down. They can tell you where they went, how many meals they gave. And because we have so many families that are lacking those type of resources, the Capital Area Food Bank, they requested 50,000 for grant to continue to feed, I guess it was over 10 or 15 schools. So we gave them the 50,000 that they that they asked for. The next one was the Coalition for African Americans in Performing Arts. Again, another program that supports classical musicians. It includes community outreach, arts education, opportunities for at-risk youth, and it's from the ages of 5 to 18. So again, they were another recipient for 5,000. The Coalition for Public Safety Training in Schools. One of the opportunities that I thought about one Sunday, just sitting here, was whatever happened to the apprenticeship training that we had when I was in high school. And we went through, a lot of males went through apprenticeship programs, and they, came out and they were electricians, they were HVAC technicians, and we need to bring that back. So I picked up the phone and I called Councilmember Burrows. On a sudden, I was like, we need an apprenticeship program. And he was like, yeah, we do. You're going to set that up, right? And I'm like, no, you're going to help me set that up. So it was 2 grants in here. They talked about that. And in partnership with Century Engineering, they have a 6-week summer internship for a student interested in pursuing a career in engineering. They focus on transportational, environmental, mechanical, electrical engineering. They also team up with a company that pays them wages, and it's a 10-week electrical pre-apprentice program that prepares students for electrical apprenticeship and employment once they finish. So we gave them $50,000 because, to me, that is something that I think that will guide a lot of our younger youth to a more positive environment. Engineering, electricians get paid a lot of money. So, I thought that was great. And plus, they'll learn a trade. Communities Together, another one of those programs where it provides a means for residents to connect with family members. They provide seniors with a significant strategy of combating social isolation. They've launched a program called Neighbor Up in Fort Washington Manor. They do a lot with the seniors. And we all know that seniors are very precious to us. So we gave them funds, recommended that they get $10,000 to fund the work of their staff, their supplies, materials, foods, drinks, events for seniors. I think it's this one. Okay, Community Advocates for Family and Youth. So this is another one of those programs, like Ebonique said, a lot of these grant applications are doing the same thing in our community. And it would probably behoove all of them to get together. And that's something that we could talk about, Ebony, when we have this open forum, is to tell them to partner together. And, you know, they all may get more money. But everybody is doing the neighborhood and providing programs for the neighborhood. And Forest Heights and Glass Manor were in a couple of applications, so they're getting a lot of money as well. But I thought, you know, the team thought that that would be another great program because it focuses on elder abuse, financial exploitation, companionship for the elderly, and to help them and you know, encourage them to report abuses. So community builders, another one. They feed low to moderate income families. They have summer programs, 60% in after school programs that they wanted the money for. Community forklift, that was another apprenticeship type program. Also, it supports programs like Christmas in April. They're in Accokeek, so they needed money for program for their Accokeek Foundation elementary schools. And the name of the program is Why Not, KNOT. Community outreach, another one. You know, they help with the Labor of Love Center operations, where they have one-stop shopping for food, pantry deliveries. They would like to assist 315 individuals that reside in the impact area. The money will go to providing school uniforms for those who cannot afford it, Christmas present giveaways for 65 children, and provide holiday baskets for the upcoming holiday, Christmas and Thanksgiving. Crescent Cities JC's Foundation. They provide childcare for children from 6 weeks to 12 years of age. It is almost impossible to find someone to keep your child at 6 weeks old. I find it impossible to release your child at 6 weeks, but that's what they were asking for money for, because, you know, some of us don't have, you know, childcare leave and things like that. They partnered with the ARC PGC to include serving children with special needs. Also, in an aging building, there are certain renovations and equipment that they need done. They're asking for computers for their computer lab, for 15 desktop computers, and just to bring their lab up to, I guess they don't have any, but just to bring it up, and so that they have something for the children to do. So another one was Easter Seals. Every year they have a program where they do opportunities to help literacy, language development, math, science, creative arts, things of that nature. So we awarded funds to them. There was one First Generation College Bound. Again, they were asking for funds. However, these funds, they mentioned that they would be across the DMV. So I don't know what that means. It doesn't sound like 6 mile radius. So I asked Kanika, put a little note there. The program does not clearly describe the services within the impact zone. Although it mentions Potomac High School is in the impact zone, they also mentioned the DMV. So to me, that's District, Maryland, and Virginia. So I asked Kanika to look into that. Food and Friends, the impact area was questionable. They cite a lot of areas, but the money should be used 100% in the impact area. So they were not awarded any funds. Gateway Boarding Academy. This is another pre-apprentice and learning to earn program that they were having to focus on repairing the educational deficiencies of underserved adolescent male, middle, and high school. They have business owners that have been recruited from the local community to provide on-the-job training through their pre-apprentice program, career awareness through the addition of the Learning to Earn program. So that's another great program that gives them training and possibly employment at the end of that training. His eye on the sparrow. The committee does not feel that grant money should be used to purchase gift cards to incentivize someone to attend a cohort that will enhance their skills of becoming a father. I don't think that, grant money should be used for that purpose. But that's what they wanted the money for. They wanted to do a program just for fathers. It's a 6-week, 12-session cohort that provides father-focused relationship and parenting education. But they wanted to use the money. Participants will also receive incentives to participate in the form of gift cards to participate in this program. Well, if we're giving them money so that they can buy gift cards to have someone come to a program that's going to make them a better father. So that was questionable as well. Hope Connections for cancer support. Again, they have 15 residents with the goal of promoting early diagnosis and treatment of cancer. So they were awarded funds. Junior Achievement of Greater Washington, they requested $30,000. All funding, again, another one where the funding was going to Fairmont Heights, and that's not in the impact area. Leap to College Foundation, they did this last year. Again, one of those programs where they focus on social, emotional, cognitive, and academic development, reduce at-risk behaviors, and promote physical health. So Melwood Horticultural Training Center, we also gave them funding as they have a 34-week on-site after-school program for 1st through 5th grade that's implemented, and it's 4 days a week, 3 hours per day, Monday through Thursday. So anything to help the youth to try to, give them a purpose for this summer and, try to go somewhere and learn something. We really honed in on that. Mocha Moms, they did not receive any funds because the application really lacked a lot of substance. Next Generation Youth Programs, the program is not a good candidate. Most of the artifacts that this grant application refers to have already been executed by a lot of the sororities and the fraternities. They wanted to do provide information on how you go to college, or educate schools on how to eliminate student debt. Well, you can go to the Department of Education and they will tell you how to eliminate student debt. They'll tell you how to get in debt. But I don't think that the LDC should, fund, money for things like that when that can be looked up. And a lot of the sororities and fraternities and churches, they all go around and they talk about that relentlessly. I know that that's one of the biggest initiatives. The Nigerian Center, they pretty much wanted to, this is the one that wanted a program designed to assist newly arrived immigrants, particularly Black immigrants from African countries, in navigating the overwhelming U.S. legal immigration system. So that's the Department of State and DHS. That's where they need to go get those resources from. We have an existing program for that, and that is the state and federal government. So they say, as an existing program, seeking funding support from the grant will enable us to sustain and expand vital initiatives such as the legal immigrant walk-in clinic, asset building programs, micro entrepreneurs, and home ownership. But when you read their application, they're asking for salaries. So no money was awarded to them. One Life Love Center, another one of these art centers. They talk about art therapy sessions, modeling, runway, walking, journaling, and I think that they're located at the MGM Center. Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council. This is a program that has space at the MGM, and they're renting the space so that artists can come in and display their work. However, the money they're asking for the grant money to help pay for the rental space. But what I found interesting is that although they're allowing the artists to display their work, they're also letting them keep 100% of their proceeds. So that just really I couldn't figure that out. It was kind of confusing, and that they're seeking funds for retail space so that the artist can come in and sell their work in that retail space. The artist keeps 100% of the sales, and the artists can showcase their work, and they charge a 30% commission. So that one just didn't, I didn't want any type of let's say investigations or something like that behind that. So we kind of said, they need to just provide a little bit more information. Our biggest concern is why request grant money if you're allowing artists to keep 100% of their sales and profit. So that was that for that one. Another one for marriage counseling. Soldiers Ministries, we did not give any funding to because Letitia, that's one that wanted to repurpose. So they asked for money again this year, but yet they're asking to repurpose the funds from last year. So they didn't receive any funding. Seed, another program. It's an active Excel Academy. It moved its new facility on Bach Road. It provides empowerment support training to families in need near the school's location. They partner with the Capital Area Food Bank to provide monthly workshops, a 10-month series, and they do individual counseling, financial counseling, and things of that nature. St. Michael's Truth Lutheran Church, again, they do classes that consist of African drum, language, culture classes. They even have a children's gospel choir. So they have tutoring, they have choir practice. They're going to put on performances for the community within the 6-mile radius. They also focus on strengthening math skills and concepts through games and songs and crafts. So again, another one of those programs that will keep the interests of children. Strategic music partnerships. They're another one of these grants that they want to establish a radio broadcast facility, which I thought was interesting. And I think that that's something that children or young adults would step up to, because who better than them is into the music. So they want to try to get one started, and they aim to establish a radio broadcast facility and educational programs tailored to the community needs. So that's what they were for. We have the Denny House, which also has services that support positive relationships, aftercare, client-centered case management, personal development, trauma, behavioral and mental health services. They work on work readiness training, financial literacy, and things of that nature. The Difference Society, again, focusing on empowering individuals with skills and knowledge to manage their finances, and teaching budgeting, saving, investing, and helping them with their credit score, which I thought was great too. The Foundation for the Advancement of Musical Education, Harmony Hall, they do a lot. That's the place I was trying to think of. That this project is a part of the Music is Central program, and it supports the community and the school-based programs at Harmony Hall. A lot of those programs I'll go to, they're free. And so the famed summer music program is into that. And the program prepares rising middle and high school students for successful futures by developing their proficiency in computer technology, music, critical thinking, and things of that nature. Another program for literacy, the Ivy Community Charities of PG County. We had a question about this one, and Kanika's going to look into it, but another program that wanted to incentivize children to come to school because they're absent too much. So one note that I wrote is the committee does not feel that grant money should be used to incentivize children to attend school. That resides with the counselors in the school system and parents being involved in their child's education. So I don't think that that was a good initiative to provide funds for, but they do other things such as collaboration. They work with AKAs, and as far as books and programs and things like that. And they really focus on absenteeism. Absenteeism is the greatest challenge of their program. So we did give them some money, but I did put that little note down there. The last two are pretty much rent and food assistance within the 6 mile radius. Groceries will be provided weekly or bi-weekly for 150 meals for people who are low income and just do not have the funds for it. And the one grant here, Ebonique, is called the Training Source. And I put down here, talk with Ebonique. They want to conduct a community needs assessment to ensure that weekly workshops meet the most pressing needs of the target population. So that is something probably the Training Source that we could ask you to look into as well. Last one, Universal Mosaic. They have a program called Cracking the C Code, which is mostly a study guide and a mobile app that is designed to address the gap in soft skills. And they work with some of the schools and the communities within the 6 mile radius. They have workshops, mentorship, pairing, online training, things of that nature. So the bulk of most of this was at-risk youth, aftercare before, apprenticeships, things like that. Okay, do we still have a quorum? Okay, so with that said, those were the applications. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns about the applications? Okay, seeing none, I, Dr. Toy Lattimore, would like to move that the Local Development Council accept the applications that were recommended for grant funding for the 2024-2025 year. Can I have a second?
I second, have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, according to this, we didn't go over 400,000, correct?
No, ma'am, we did not. We hit 400,000 on the mark.
On the mark. We hit it on the mark. Okay, now, after we vote on this, can I get a list of all of I mean, you said a mouthful, okay?
I sent it to
And,
you today.
and I was following, I was trying to follow everything that you sent me.
Okay, so you
but-
have it.
Yeah, but there's it's some on this, what you said is not on my paper.
Right, so I had to do a revised one, and I will send that one to
Okay, that's
Letitia
the one
tonight.
that's the one I need. That's what
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I think we did a fantastic job. If we did not go over 400,000, I mean, I really think that y'all did. I mean, you broke it down, madam. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
I know a lot about a lot of organizations now. I think we all do.
Dr.
yes,
Lattimore,
yes. Oh my goodness gracious.
Dr.
You
Lattimore.
said
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
gonna do better next year, correct? All right. I can't wait till next year.
All right, thank you. Who had a question?
This is Delegate Woods. I apologize. I was trying to raise my hand, and for some reason,
Okay, I'm
the
sorry.
hand raising thing is not. No, mine. It's not working. I wanted CTC. That was the group that wanted to do the work in the high schools. Bill Taylor's group.
Yes.
Did you? I didn't hear you mention them.
Yeah, Coalition for Public Safety. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. CP. I got it wrong.
Yes. No, you have it right. It is because they were doing the apprenticeships.
Right.
Coalition for Public Safety Training in Schools.
Okay. And what was the recommendation for them?
50,000.
And what is that what you're recommending?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you.
For the apprenticeship programs that will eventually lead them to a craft and a job, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so
All
I'm
right.
going to withdraw my motion, Letitia, if that is okay, and redo it. Are there any more questions, comments, or concerns about the applications? Seeing none, I, Dr. Toy Lattimore, hereby recommend that the LDC accept the recommended grants and the recommended awards for the 24-25 2024 through 2025 year to be awarded to the grant recipients that applied for the grants.
I second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Thank you. The motion is hereby carried and voted on by unanimous consent. Thank you guys so very, very much. I know that that was a lot, but I'm going to turn this list over to Letitia tonight and Kanika. And Letitia, if you want to take the scores off of them, feel free. Done with them. Okay, so I do want to say, last but not least, to thank you all for all the help with these applications, especially Evelyn. I think I worked her and Tequila and Lori to death. I can't say enough about them. I am really grateful for this pause until September. Because I do other things, and between sorority, this and Panhandle, I'm kind of like all over the place, but I enjoy what I do. But I think we all deserve a well-needed break. Over the course of the next 2 months, I will get with Ebonique and with Evelyn, and we will parse out what we need to work on over the break in our own time. Okay. I want to thank Sheila and Barbara and Letitia for keeping me straight. Don't forget to keep doing that when we come back. All right, so with that said, I hereby move that the meeting be adjourned. All those in favor? Can I have a second first? I see your lips moving, Delegate Turner. You said second.
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? You guys, thank you. I love you. Have a wonderful summer.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. I could hug y'all for July and August.
I love all of
Evelyn,
you.
thank you. I'm giving you a
Yes.
group hug, a virtual hug.
Thank you.
Tequila, Lori, Ebony, thank y'all.
Yes, Miss Taylor, thank you so much. Appreciate
All right.
you.
I'll see y'all.
Thank
Have
you.
a great
Ms.
night.
Moore, King,
Have a great
thank
summer.
you so much.